Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fleet Command. Now that we are done with all the missions in the game, I can introduce you properly to the mission editor. In the next couple of videos, which are going to be shorter because I love a long video as much as anyone, but recording that all in one sitting is, not to mention editing it, is rough on me to say the least, especially with me being tired and sick. So, this is the mission editor. We're going to make a tutorial because some people have asked for a tutorial, so I'll make kind of a more comprehensive tutorial than what's included in the game to kind of go over everything that I do. And as you can see, one of the big selling points of this game was like all this map data was made from US Geographical Survey data, which was like a huge deal back in the day. And you can actually click and load any, like the mission map is the standard size. You can see like it's adjusting with the projection error, but they all end up having the same size, and you can set it anywhere in the world. You could even set it all in the Himalayas if you wanted. Won't be able to do much with ships and subs up there, but so we're just going to, what do I? Yeah, Persian Gulf. The good old Persian Gulf. So you can see, I'm guessing, but I think each one is roughly, 1,000 nautical miles by 1,000 nautical miles. So today we're mostly going to set up the blue 4. So you can change the game supports up to, as you can see, 7 sides, 8 including side 0 and neutrals. By default, the player is side 0, which is the blue 4, and by default, side 1 is the op 4, which is red. Now, first things we're going to do here is let's set our environmental conditions. You can set the sea state to be 1 to 5. I don't know if it has any effect on gameplay. Maybe it affects ballistic accuracy of ships. You have time of day, which is in local time, so we can just have ours as 12. You have different bottom types, rock, mud, or sand, that I believe does affect basically the range and effectiveness of sonar. Put it nice in the middle, and then you have these, which actually this might be. Now, I think this affects how sound travels. I'm not a sonar guy though. I really should read up on that because that's kind of critical for modern warfare, but we'll just say bottom limited. And that's fine because we don't have any aircraft in here. So we'll set a mission description, more extensive tutorial, and the base tutorial missions. And then what we're gonna do, I'm just checking all my settings. I'm trying not to go through this too fast, but I've spent a lot of time in here. Oh, here's another thing, alliances. So you can change, like you see side 0's allies, which is you. All the others default is threat, but we've seen in the single missions in particular that you can actually move these over and they'll be allies. And for the most part, all those extra sides are just for multiplayer. But do I want to? Nah, I probably won't bother with that for this mission. But as you can see, it's pretty easy. Minefields are pretty easy to set up. You basically just select an area. You say how many you want to cross, how many down, the type of mine, contact, influence, or moored, the depth at which they're set, and the side to which they belong. And then it'll auto-populate the minefield. Like I said, though, we're going to set up blue 4, so you have a couple of options here for formations. So obviously our most popular formation is the carrier battle group, and it does give you 3 presets for American formations: the carrier battle group, the amphibious ready group, and the surface action group. Excuse me. The carrier battle group is what we're going to use, and we're going to put it right smack dab there. As you can see, it basically auto generates a group for us. If we wanted to make our own for whatever reason, I mean, you can change all this stuff too. Like, I could make this Russian Kirov, so you're not locked in. If we wanted to make our own, you would basically put down the units, go to formations, create formations, and then you just choose the formation leader and the formation name. So in this case, let's see, we could call this surface action group. Yeah. And they all adopt the tactic of the leader. So you'll notice their first page is a lot similar because they inherit that from the leader. So now you can see we selected Surface 12 as the leader. So they have lines linking them to Surface 12, who also gets the formation title, essentially. We'll delete them because we aren't going to use them for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. So we're going to have, it'll be a Nimitz class, but we're going to have the Ronald Reagan. And then we will use area waypoints, so that way they constantly loop. There we go. And then you got the starting position. So I think in the end though, like once you hit here, it'll just go there. So there we kind of we can set up a deeper patrol, not too deep. Doesn't let me multiple edit, but we'll say 18 knots as our cruise speed. And you can see it gives an estimated time of arrival too. I think that's in hours and minutes. So like if I were to run it real time, doing this loop would take us about a day, give or take. So here, if you wanted to manually edit the position for a reason, that's an option. You can also edit the points. We've seen that in a couple of missions, as well as the probability of inclusion. That'll be something we get into later. Also unique to ships is, depending on the class, they will automatically have aircraft embarked on them. And I think for carriers, I think for ships they're locked in too, and you can't modify what's embarked on them. You can, however, if we were to make an airfield, which we will, we'll just call you airport. Straight up and down, sure, why not? There's these options include in sim and auto detect. So include in sim is basically whether it's like part of the mission or not. If you have this unchecked, the object will be there visually in the 3D view, but it's not like something you can target. It basically is ignored by the sim. So that, like, if you wanted to, like in our missions where you've seen maybe there's an airport surrounded by a bunch of buildings, those all had the include in sim unchecked. And that's just kind of to spice things up, make things look a little more realistic. Auto detect, pretty self-explanatory. If that's on, everyone will see it all the time. Got kind of the same stuff here. You know what? Let's put our airport at 45 degrees heading. And you can see airports have the third page, which has grounded aircraft selected. Does it say the same? It just says aircraft available for ships. But here, then we could add, say, it's divided into country, class. So say if we want airborne early warning, we could add E3 Sentry and add 4 of those. And we'll probably add more later. Let's keep going with this. I think, yeah, notice how it doesn't give a heading here. I believe that's because the heading is automatically matched to the waypoint, which is honestly something Command Modern Operations could benefit from, they have an option to just like when making a mission, just be like, yeah, I want this, just be heading towards the waypoint. We can set up, what do we got here? Yorktown, we want Ticonderoga VLS, so we'll take the, we'll take Gettysburg. So here we can kind of just fan everyone out. Oh, they gave us 2 cruisers, okay. And we'll give you Bunker Hill. So I could get really exact here. I'm not going to. We're going to keep them about 5 miles apart. I think that's a pretty good spread. And then these guys will be a bit further out. So then the rest of these will be Berks. So we can have Mahan, Purvis Wilbur, the O'Kane. You can see it throws in a couple frigates. John Paul Jones. Throws in a couple of frigates by default. Oh, I have 2 John Paul Jones. Barry. Oh, notice how it puts the 2 at the end if you have a duplicate. So let's set you back to. I have another 53. Stout, I know that one. Wilbur, the O'Kane, Porter, and the Barry, which should be Mickey Higgins. There we go. Now they're all unique. And one more ship we will add to this formation, and you can just right click on it if you want to add to an existing formation. So we can right click, add to CVBG, and let's put in a Sacramento class supply ship, the Detroit. Okay. I had to try. One thing you can do is if you right click, you can access the flight schedule. So here you can basically have aircraft pre-warmed up already. So obviously we want a bunch of Tomcats on deck. We could have 2 Seahawks on. One on the alert 15, one on alert 30. The Hornets will all be alert 30. Because I do want to, you'll notice you cannot change their loadouts in here. So unfortunately those are defaulted to whatever whatever their default is. Yep. We'll have another Hawkeye on the Cat. Up 2 Vikings. Oh, that's it. I guess we'll have 4 Vikings, and then we can have 20 as 3 Viking, and that will leave us at least some alert 15 room. So likewise, yeah, the F key does not work. You do have to right click and go to the flight schedule. But here we can kind of just like pre-prep our helicopters. And you know what? Nah. I would add a frigate, but they're just slower. They do have the high frequency sonar, which the game does treat differently than regular sonar, I think. But and if you want, what you can do is add an in-flight aircraft, and I could use any of the aircraft on there. Like I could say set this to a Hornet, give it some random tactic. Like here, it's just gonna slowly expand out to the box, and then here you can actually adjust the loadout, which I'm surprised it even gives me options since I don't have an aircraft selected. You can also specify the speed and altitude, but we're not going to add an in-flight aircraft for this, so we can go over all of the launch parameters. One more thing is we will have a submarine in advance of the battle group. We'll have a Seawolf, and we can have area waypoints here. Notice it doesn't have the PIM prefix. I don't know exactly what it stands for, but it seems to only be for formations. So here we can give, let's have them 18 knots. We can see here, ooh, depth's kind of shallow, unfortunately. So let's set that to 100 so they don't crash out. Oh, here for submarines, you can set the comm period. So here we could say, okay, come to the surface every 30 minutes for orders. And we'll set it, 18 is probably a bit fast, but at least this way it keeps up with the group. I don't know if, I haven't decided yet what the OP4 is going to be or what the overall structure is. I just know we're going to want a couple of things to play with here. So, and I haven't completely finished setting things up, but we do have our battle group set up. It's pretty nice. And I think, oh, here, mission tutorial difficulty, we'll say 2 stars, and we'll call it advanced tutorial. There we go. And I think we're just going to leave things at that for now. I think this is a good basis to start off with. Next time we might extend the Blue 4 with more land-based stuff and, you know, filling out the airport, or we might just move on to the OP4. We'll see. But yeah, there's our first look at the mission editor, and of course, say mission as, we'll say advanced tutorial. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.